The Galactic Underdogs. For 3 centuries, Earth had been the butt of every cosmic joke in the grand halls of the Galactic Conclave. Advanced civilizations would gather at their ornate assemblies, projecting holograms of humanity's primitive space endeavors, erupting in what passed for laughter among their diverse species. Look at them. Archdiplomat Nexus would chortle, his crystalline exoskeleton vibrating with what his species considered amusement. Still burning chemical propellants to achieve orbit. How delightfully archaic. The Conclave maintained strict non-interference protocols with developing worlds, but Earth held a special designation, Class D observational status. This allowed for extensive monitoring, but prohibited contact until specific technological thresholds were achieved. These thresholds, of course, had been deliberately set just beyond what the Conclave believed humans could reach within the next millennium. What the great galactic powers failed to understand was humanity's most potent evolutionary advantage, adaptation through adversity. While alien civilizations had developed in stable environments with gradual, measured progress, humans had clawed their way up from the mud, surviving extinction events, ice ages, and their own self-destructive tendencies. Commander Elena Reyes stood on the observation deck of the ESS Prometheus, Earth's first antimatter-powered warship, watching the stars streak by. 30 years ago, she had been a young cadet when humanity made its greatest discovery, not through exploration, but through paranoia. In 2089, a routine security scan detected an anomalous signal bouncing between 17 orbital satellites. Following the signal's encryption patterns led to the discovery of an alien surveillance network that had been monitoring Earth for centuries. Rather than announcing this discovery to the world, the United Earth Defense Council made a fateful decision: to keep it secret from the public and exploit the alien technology. "Commander, we're approaching the Axillary Border Outpost," Lieutenant Park announced from the navigation console. "Their sensors have detected us. They're hailing." Elena squared her shoulders. On screen, the view screen flickered to life, revealing a tall, angular being with iridescent skin and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. The universal translator converted its harmonic speech patterns into English. "Unidentified vessel, you have entered Axillary Federation space. Your propulsion signature is unknown to our databases. Identify yourself immediately." Elena smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "This is Commander Elena Reyes of the Earth spaceship Prometheus. We represent the sovereign interests of humanity. We detected your border outpost and came to establish diplomatic relations." The Axillary officer's upper eyes widened, a gesture of shock. "Earth, the primitive world from the Sol system. Impossible. Your species lacks the technology for interstellar travel." "Evidently not," Elena replied coolly. "We request permission to dock and initiate first contact protocols." The screen went dark as the Axillary officer cut the transmission. Elena wasn't surprised. According to the files extracted from the surveillance network, the Axillary were notorious for their rigid adherence to galactic hierarchy. "They're scanning us, Commander," the tactical officer reported. "Multiple frequencies. They're trying to penetrate our defensive screens." Elena nodded. "Let them look. Passive countermeasures only." What the Axillary couldn't know was that the Prometheus represented only a fraction of Earth's true technological leap. For 20 years, humanity had reverse-engineered alien surveillance technology, combining it with humanity's unique approach to problem-solving. The result was a peculiar hybrid technology that followed none of the established development paths known to the galactic community. The view screen flickered back to life. The Axillary officer had been replaced by a more elaborately adorned individual. "I am High Commander Vexilius of the Axillary Federation. Your presence is unexpected. Our records indicate your species should be confined to your solar system for at least another 3 centuries. Elena inclined her head respectfully. "High Commander, we've come to establish peaceful relations. Earth wishes to join the galactic community." Vexilius's facial ridges pulsed with blue light, a sign of skepticism. "The Galactic Conclave determines admission, not the Axillary Federation. However, I must inform you that Earth has been classified as a protected developing world. Your exit from your solar system violates Conclave Directive 447B. I am obligated to escort you back to your system and report this infraction. Alina's expression didn't change, but her voice cooled several degrees. With respect, High Commander, Earth never consented to being classified, contained, or observed. We are a sovereign species making our own path among the stars. Knave, Vexilius responded. The galaxy operates on established hierarchies and protocols established over millennia. Your unauthorized advancement presents a destabilizing influence. Prepare to be boarded for your return journey to Earth. Before Alina could respond, the tactical officer called out, "Commander." They're powering weapons and deploying fighter craft. The High Commander's expression showed no remorse. This is standard procedure for violations of containment protocols. Do not resist, or we will be forced to disable your vessel. Alina's smile was razor-thin. I understand, High Commander. However, I should inform you that the Prometheus did not come alone. At her signal, the tactical officer pressed a series of commands. Throughout the nearby star system, 17 stealth vessels disengaged their cloaking fields, appearing on the axillary sensors like ghosts materializing from nothing. The High Commander's face displayed the axillary equivalent of shock. Impossible. Your technological level was drastically underestimated. Alina finished for him. We've been studying your surveillance technology for decades. Consider this. If we could detect and reverse engineer your monitoring systems, what else might we have accomplished while you were laughing at our rocket ships? The axillary border station's alarm systems began blaring in the background. This is an act of war, Vexilius warned. Alina shook her head. No, High Commander. This is an act of introduction. Earth will not be contained, studied like lab specimens, or patronized. We come in peace, but we come as equals, not as subjects. The choice of how our species first interact rests with you. For several tense moments, the Axillary Commander said nothing, his four eyes blinking in asynchronous patterns as he presumably communicated with his superiors. Stand by, Earth vessel, he finally said, before cutting the transmission. The bridge of the Prometheus fell silent. They're powering down weapons, the tactical officer reported, surprised. Alina nodded. It was a gamble, but one based on careful study of axillary psychology extracted from the surveillance network. They respected strength and clear boundaries, but avoided direct confrontation when faced with superior forces. All ships maintain position, she ordered, but stay alert. When the communication resumed, the High Commander appeared more composed. Commander Reyes, the Axillary Federation extends provisional diplomatic recognition to Earth, pending conclave review. You may dock at our station for preliminary discussions. After the channel closed, Alina turned to her executive officer. And that, Commander Chen, is how you crash a party no one invited you to. Chen grinned. They still think we're just lucky upstarts who stole some technology. Good, Alina replied. Let them underestimate us a while longer. We've been preparing for this moment since we found their spy tech. The galaxy thinks they know humanity from their observations, but they've only seen what we showed them. As the Prometheus approached the massive axillary station, Alina reflected on the centuries of dismissal humanity had endured from the stars. The galaxy had laughed at Earth for generations. Soon, they would understand the species they had been mocking. Humans didn't merely adapt to survive, they thrived on challenges. And being the underdog of the galaxy was the greatest challenge humanity had ever faced. The Prometheus docked with a gentle shudder, and Alina prepared to make history as humanity's first official ambassador to the stars, backed by a fleet that shouldn't exist and technologies that defied galactic expectations. The cosmic joke was about to find a new punchline. The tables turn. 6 months after the axillary incident, the Galactic Conclave convened an emergency session for the first time in 3 centuries. The Grand Chamber, designed to accommodate representatives from over 2,000 recognized species, buzzed with anxious energy as delegates discussed the impossible. Humans had arrived on the galactic stage centuries ahead of schedule. High Ambassador Orlix of the Vesprid Collective tapped the ceremonial staff against the ancient stone dais, calling for order. The chamber gradually quieted, all eyes turning to the central podium. Esteemed delegates, Orlix began, compound eyes reflecting the chamber's ambient light. We face an unprecedented situation. The species-designated Sol 3 Homo sapiens, commonly called humans, has achieved interstellar capability far beyond projected timelines. More concerningly, they have demonstrated technological applications that follow no established evolutionary path. A murmur spread through the chamber. The Axillary Federation reports that human vessels utilize a hybrid technology, incorporating elements from at least 7 different galactic patents, combined in ways our engineers describe as alarmingly innovative. They have also demonstrated advanced cloaking technology that evaded axillary detection systems, technology that should be impossible at their development stage. Ambassador Thrix of the Meridian Alliance rose from his hovering platform. Has there been any explanation for this anomalous advancement? Orlix's antennae flattened against his carapace, a gesture of discomfort. The humans claim to have discovered our observation network approximately 30 Earth years ago. They reverse-engineered components and combined them with their own technological approaches. The chamber erupted in disbelief. Impossible, shouted a representative from the Quantum Concordat. Our observation systems are designed to self-destruct if tampered with. Evidently, Orlix replied dryly. The humans found a way around that safeguard. The doors at the far end of the chamber slid open, and a hush fell over the assembly. 3 humans entered, dressed in midnight blue uniforms adorned with silver insignia. They walked with the quiet confidence of those unintimidated by the grandeur around them. At their head was Elena Reyes, now bearing the title of Admiral after the successful first contact with the Axillary. Beside her walked Dr. Sanjay Kapoor, Earth's foremost xenotechnologist, and Ambassador Marcus Chen, Elena's former executive officer. They approached the central platform without waiting for formal recognition, a subtle but deliberate breach of protocol that did not go unnoticed. The conclave recognizes the representatives from Earth, Orlix announced, though the humans had already taken their position. Admiral Rice stepped forward. On behalf of the United Earth Government, I thank the conclave for this opportunity to address you directly rather than through the surveillance feeds you've been watching for centuries. Her words, translated into thousands of languages simultaneously, caused visible discomfort among many delegates. We understand our arrival has caused some concern, she continued. Let me assure you that Earth comes in peace. We seek integration into the galactic community as equals, not conquerors. Ambassador Thrix interjected. Your technological advancement violates all established models of species development. You must understand our concern when a supposedly primitive world suddenly appears with military technology that challenges established powers. Dr. Kapoor stepped forward. With respect, Ambassador, perhaps your models are flawed. Your observations of Earth captured our technological outputs, but failed to understand our methodological approaches. Humanity doesn't advance linearly. We leap forward through crisis and necessity. He activated a holographic display showing Earth's technological progression over the past century, highlighting exponential acceleration points that coincided with global challenges. What took many of your civilizations millennia to develop, we achieved in decades, not because we're inherently superior, but because we evolved differently. Humans thrive under pressure. We unite when threatened. And, he added with a slight smile, we're particularly motivated when told something is impossible. The conclave chambers fell silent as the implications settled in. Ambassador Chen spoke next. We've prepared comprehensive proposals for technological exchange, trade agreements, and cultural integration. Earth doesn't come empty-handed to the galactic table. High Ambassador Orlix's antennae twitched nervously. And if the conclave determines that Earth is not yet ready for full integration, Admiral Rice smiled, but her eyes remained serious. Then we would be disappointed but would respect the conclave's assessment. However, she added, we would continue our independent exploration and development. Earth has existed in isolation for our entire history. We can continue to do so if necessary. The unspoken implication hung in the air. Earth would proceed with or without permission. An elderly delegate from the ancient Centauran League, one of the oldest species in the conclave, floated forward on a gravity platform. I have observed 17 species join the galactic community during my lifetime. None have arrived as you have. Proud, capable, and seemingly unafraid. It is refreshing. The ancient being turned to address the assembly. For too long, we have observed developing worlds as curiosities, studying them like specimens in a cosmic laboratory. Perhaps it is we who should be studied. Our complacency, our assumptions, our hierarchies, all challenged by these newcomers. The Centauran turned back to the human delegation. You were underestimated, and you used that to your advantage. Tactically sound. But now you stand revealed. What assurance can you offer that Earth will be a stabilizing rather than disruptive force in galactic affairs? Admiral Rice stepped forward. None. A shocked murmur ran through the chamber. I cannot promise that humanity's integration will be seamless or that our presence won't disrupt established patterns, she continued. Change is inevitable when new elements are introduced to any system. What I can promise is this. Earth seeks partners, not subjects. Friends, not vassals. Teachers and students in equal measure. She gazed around the chamber, making eye contact with as many delegates as possible. We've studied your histories. Most galactic conflicts arose not from malice, but from miscommunication and fear of the unknown. Earth proposes a new approach, open dialogue, transparent intentions, and mutual respect. Dr. Kapoor added, we've already begun scientific collaborations with the Axillary Federation, focusing on sustainable antimatter production, a field where our unique approach has yielded promising results that their researchers found improbably efficient. Ambassador Chen concluded, the question isn't whether humanity belongs among the stars. We're already here. The question is whether we walk this path together or separately. For several moments, the chamber remained silent. Then, the ancient Centauran spoke again, its voice carrying the weight of millennia. I move that Earth be granted provisional membership in the Galactic Conclave, with full review after one standard cycle. High Ambassador Orlix seemed shocked. Such an acceleration of process is unprecedented. As is their arrival, the Centauran countered. Our protocols were designed for gradual integration, not for a species that appears fully formed at our doorstep. We must adapt, or have we forgotten how? One by one, delegates began to signal agreement, not unanimously. Several prominent powers abstained or registered formal concerns, but enough to carry the motion. As the session adjourned, Admiral Rice and her team were approached by dozens of curious delegates, many offering congratulations, others seeking private audiences to discuss potential alliances or exchanges. Well played, said a voice behind them. They turned to find High Commander Vexilius of the Axillary Federation. You navigated the conclave politics remarkably well for newcomers. Elena smiled. We've had centuries of practice with our own complex diplomatic systems on Earth. Some principles are universal. Vexilius's facial ridges pulsed with amber light, indicating respect. The Axillary were among the first to join the conclave, 10,000 years ago. We've grown comfortable in our position. Perhaps too comfortable. Comfort breeds complacency, Elena observed. Indeed, the Axillary agreed, which is why I've come with a proposition. The Federation seeks to establish a joint defense initiative with Earth, officially for mutual protection, unofficially to study your military innovations. Elena exchanged glances with her colleagues, an interesting proposal. Earth would certainly benefit from axillary expertise in certain areas. Do not mistake this for charity, Admiral. Vexilius cautioned. The galaxy is watching Earth closely now. Some see opportunity, others threat. The hegemony of Seven has already expressed concerns about your unusually rapid development. We've reviewed the files on the hegemony, Ambassador Chen interjected. Their concerns seem to coincide with periods of territorial expansion. Vexilius's eyes blinked in asynchronous patterns, the equivalent of a surprised laugh. You are well informed. Perhaps our proposed alliance would benefit both our peoples. As they sealed the preliminary agreement, Alina reflected on humanity's new position. The species that had once been a cosmic joke now stood at the center of a shifting galactic power structure. Alliances were forming, suspicions brewing, opportunities arising. The galaxy had laughed at humanity for generations. Now they were scrambling to understand, to adapt, to align with or against this unexpected new power. Admiral Alina Reyes gazed out at the spectacular view of the conclave station orbiting a ringed gas giant. Thousands of ships from hundreds of civilizations docked at the massive structure, a testament to cooperation spanning millennia. And among them now flew ships bearing Earth's insignia, proof that the cosmic underdogs had finally arrived at the party. Not as guests, but as equals. Not with hat in hand, but with heads held high. Not as the punchline to a galactic joke, but as the authors of the next chapter in cosmic history. The galaxy had laughed at humanity. Now humanity smiled back, and the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see what would happen next.